key to Canada's defense is here, a simple matter of geography, a world divided into two gigantic spheres of influence. If the decision ever comes to hurl the world into its greatest war, that decision will be made in the USSR and in the United States. And between the two, the shortest distance for the bomber or the intercontinental missile is over Canada. As Mr. Diefenbaker has put it, under the irresistible dictates of geography, the defense of North America has become a joint enterprise of both Canada and the United States.
As a first step in that joint enterprise, a triple chain of radar posts was thrown across the continent. The Pine Tree Chain, the Mid-Canada Line, the Distant Early Warning Line. And to complete the system, two arms extended seaward by picket ships and a mobile line of radar planes, a network which we hoped would give us more than 3 hours warning of attack. And to defend ourselves against such an attack, we integrated our air defense facilities in NORAD, the North American Air Defense Command, a model of joint enterprise, headquarters, Colorado Springs. Here, to the nerve center of the system, circuits bring reports from all the radar stations. And here, on this giant map of plexiglass, the position is recorded of all unidentified planes in the defense perimeter. A single aircraft unidentified is treated as routine. Most appear there only briefly, are erased when the routine check determines they are friendly. But if a check should ever indicate that planes within the NORAD area are hostile, General Earl Partridge of the U.S. Air Force, NORAD's commander-in-chief, would take personal control. When he is away from Colorado Springs, his authority would fall upon his second-in-command, Air Marshal Roy Sleman of the RCAF. One of these men must always be there. It is for one of them to decide the seriousness of the incursion by the unidentified aircraft. It is his decision which would, theoretically at least, begin evacuation of the major cities of the continent and would send the interceptor squadrons of the system into the attack. The RCAF squadrons at North Bay and St. Hubert are on around-the-clock alert. When the word comes to scramble, it takes them 3 minutes to get airborne. From NORAD headquarters by a direct phone circuit used for nothing else, General Partridge or Air Marshal Sleman would pass on his assessment of the situation to the Joint Chiefs of Staff of the United States and Canada and ultimately to the heads of government. For the men at NORAD cannot make the final awful judgment which would send the giant bombers of the United States Strategic Air Command aloft to strike back with all the devastating power of the H-bomb at the only probable enemy. That decision belongs to the President of the United States and him alone. And that, in the final analysis, is the keystone of North American defense. More than to locate a target for our interceptors, more than to allow evacuation of our cities, the vast outlay of NORAD and its radar system is primarily to give sufficient warning of attack, to get the bombers of the SAC in the air and heading for their targets. It is this threat that our retaliation will be certain, swift, massively destructive, which we rely upon to dissuade Russia from attacking. This is the deterrence.